This summer heat, making sure your HVAC system is running smoothly is important for a comfortable and energy-efficient home. Joining me now to share how Houston homeowners can stay cool and save on energy costs is Joe Bany, Director of Field of Operations for John Moore Services. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, so first question here. How often should air conditioner filters be replaced?
So there's a couple of different types. It's really going to be dependent on what you have. They're real thin filters, which is a common one. And depending on if you have pets or how often in and out of the house, I mean, you need to check them monthly. Summertime gets there, I'd be on top of it a lot because if it can't breathe, the unit will freeze up and cause you issues. You've got a bigger media filter in the attic. That can go a little bit longer, but again, it's situational. You just want to make sure that you are checking them, even if you don't have to replace it. Let's go check it and make sure we've not gotten there yet.
Right, okay. And then what about outdoor vegetation when we're talking about it affecting your unit?
Okay, so you don't want really anything growing around your condenser. I know a lot of people like to kind of put some bushes around there so it's not that eyesore, but it restricts the airflow going through there. And even if you have an open area out there, you know, cutting the grass and it blowing into the unit, it can restrict that breathing on that outside unit. So hose it down, keep it clean. You want to make sure everything is as good as possible so it functions right.
Okay, we're talking about energy savings. We could all use them. What's the best setting for your thermostat?
Yeah, you know, they have economy thermostats where it'll run that temperature up, and so the best deal is when you're not at home, let's not use it so difficult, right? I mean, if you have an older unit, it's going to struggle. You're going to have to put a temperature a little bit lower to feel comfortable in the home. You have a newer unit, it's going to be more efficient. It's going to pull out a little more humidity. It's going to make it more comfortable. So with a new unit, a 74 could be a really nice, comfortable temperature. And an older unit, I mean, you might have to be at 68 to do that. And so you've got to find what's right for you and what you can live with. But the best scenario for your AC system is at night while you're sleeping. If you can have it a little bit warmer, let's do that. If you're gone, let's put it on like a vacation mode or something like that, so it's not working as hard while you're gone and sucking up as much energy.
You mentioned 74. Like if you're leaving the house for work, should you go ahead and turn it up a few notches?
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? Yeah. I mean, it'll take a little bit for it to cool down when you get back home, but you're saving all of that energy while you're gone for 10, 12, 14 hours, right? Plus, all you really have to do is keep that house comfortable while you're gone, and then it'll cool faster when you get home in the evening and it's dark.
And how often should you service your unit?
You should do it at least twice a year.
Okay.
I mean, that's a minimum. You should do it before summer and you should do it before winter, so you make sure your furnace is working. I know we're not big in winter here, but the AC one, it should happen every single year for sure. There's so many things. Is the unit working properly? Is it efficient? How old is it? How much time do I have left with it? You know, I mean, nobody wants to hear that. They just want to hear, yeah, it's working, right? But it's also good to go, look, you know, you're on year number 8. You might have 2 or 3 more years. You know, if you take really good care of it, maybe you got a few more years after that, as opposed to coming home one day and it's just not working because we haven't paid attention to it. So take a look at it a couple of times a year. Make sure you're working. Get out in front of problems before they happen.
You sort of already touched on this, but is there a certain amount of time or how long that HVAC system should normally last you?
Yeah, you're looking around 10 years.
Okay.
I mean, the industry average is about 10 years. If you look at the manufacturers, most of them have 10-year warranties on parts on their equipment because, you know, they expect that to be the lifespan. You can get them to live a lot longer if you take care of them every single year, right? What you end up losing, though, as equipment ages is efficiency. Right, a piece of equipment that was installed 15 years ago may work really well still, but its energy use is way greater. It's older, it's not as effective, so it's working twice as hard as a brand new unit would, right? So there becomes a time in the lifespan where it doesn't make sense to repair it. It makes sense to go with a newer unit that's more efficient, more effective, and works better for you.
Okay, Joe Bany, thank you so much for joining us this morning. All right.
Appreciate it.